Guys, I promised you a homework helper, so this is your homework for tonight. This is your review on macromolecules. So let's take a look. Number one, match the following monomers with the correct polymers in the table below. So I know that a polymer is a big molecule, right? And the monomers build the polymers. So the monomers are small molecules. Okay, so if my carbohydrate is a big molecule, which one of these builds a carbohydrate? Is it a nucleotide, a monosaccharide, fatty acid, or amino acid? Well, I know that monosaccharide, that means one sugar. So a monosaccharide will build a carbohydrate. Lipids. What's going to build a lipid? Remember our saying? Okay. Fatty acids, right? Fatty acids build lipids. Proteins. We learned about proteins today. And I know that a long chain of amino acids will build a protein. And then lastly, nucleic acids. The word is the hint, right? Nucleotides build nucleic acids. So I'm going to write here, nucleotides. Okay? Remember, it takes long chains of the monomers to build a polymer. So a polymer is a big, long chain that builds a macromolecule. Macromolecule is a polymer. Okay? Let's take a look at the bottom. This is your fill-in. So some words are not used and only use words once. So if you've used the word, you can't use it twice. Let's take a look at number 5. Which macromolecule of life is used to store energy? Well, I know energy storage, I have to dive deep into my fat cells, right? So that's going to be a lipid. Lipids store energy, right? Which macromolecule of life provides energy? Well, if I'm going to run a race, I need to take in some carbohydrates. Okay, our body will break down the carbohydrates and turn it into energy for us. Number 7, blank is a very long macromolecule chain. Well, I know that a macromolecule and a polymer are the same thing, and polymers are long chains of the monomers. So my answer here is going to be a polymer. Polymer is a very long chain of many monomers. If you were to perform a chemical reaction where monomers turned into polymers, would your new molecules be large or small? Well, I know that my monomers are small and they're turned into polymers, which is big. So my new molecules will be larger, right? They're going to be larger than what I started off with. Plants store polysaccharides in the form of, when I think of plant and polysaccharides, I think plants and carbohydrates. And I know plants store carbohydrates in the form of starch, right? If I think of a potato, the carbohydrate that's stored in a potato is starch, and a potato is a vegetable, which is a plant. Polymers are made up of individual subunits called building blocks. What are the building blocks of polymers? Those are my key words here. I know that's a monomer, right? Monomers build polymers. A protein that can speed up chemical reactions is called a protein that speeds up chemical reactions is called an enzyme, right? Sorry about that. Okay. So an enzyme is a type of protein, and our enzymes speed up chemical reactions. Enzyme. Down at the bottom. So you're going to take a look at the words here and then decide if it's a carbohydrate, a lipid, protein, or nucleic acid. So we have starch. Starch is found in potatoes. Starch is found in plants. That's a carbohydrate. Fatty acids. What builds a fatty acid? Or what do fatty acids build? Lipids, right? Amino acids. A long chain of amino acids will build a protein. What provides insulation? Our fats provide insulation, so that's a fat, which is lipid. Oils, we know are fats, lipids. Glucose, when you see the word glucose, think sugar. Sugar is a carbohydrate. Waxes are lipids. Long-term energy storage. Okay, if food was scarce, our little mouse would dive into its fat stores for energy. That's our lipid. Monosaccharide is a carbohydrate. The cell wall is made up of a lipid bilayer. Fats, we know, lipids. Energy source. What would be a source of energy? It's carbohydrate. Nucleotides, the hint is right in the word. Nucleic acid. DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, again, right in the word. Nucleic acid. And I put starch in there twice, but you should know that one really well then, carbohydrates. Let's take a look at the pictures. So we have to label them as a carbohydrate, lipid, protein, or a nucleic acid. This says glycerol, fatty acid, fatty acid, fatty acid. Fatty acid builds a lipid, right? So that one's a lipid. Let's take a look at this one. Amino acid, this is a chain of amino acids. Amino acids build proteins. And then I have a chain of sugars here. The building blocks of a carbohydrate are monosaccharides, these one single sugars. And this says nucleotide, nucleotide here. And if I were to twist this, it looks just like my DNA, right? Okay, what builds DNA? Nucleic acid. Na. Okay? Okay. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to bring all your notes tomorrow for your open notes test.